Hello and welcome everyone, it is me the lover, also known as the Duelist, back for you with a kind of final update for the year on my current equipped Morphronic list. We'll quickly run over this and see what has changed. Let's start here. Not really surprising anyone with 3 copies of Morphronic Telefon, just still the main playmaker of any Morphronic deck. While in attack position, you are able to roll a 6-sided die, reveal that many cards from the top of your deck equal to the result, and then special summon any level 4 or lower Morphronic from those cards, ignoring summoning conditions. Incredibly powerful swarming effect that just enables so many cool combos for this deck, and also works very well in combination with Telefon. Then we have 3 copies of Morphronic Smartphone, the next Phon in line. This is a level 1 tuner you can special summon by banishing a Morphronic monster from your graveyard and has a similar effect to Telefon. You roll a die, reveal that many cards from the top of your deck, but you are able to add a Morphronic card from those to your hand to, grab yourself some of those powerful spell extenders, or possibly even another monster for the discard of Morphronic Repair Unit. And then the probably more infamous card of this trio in Morphronic Telefon, also a 3-off. While in attack position, you roll a 6-sided die, gain life points equal to the result times 100, so you're not winning in time is nice. And then special summon a Morphronic from your graveyard with a level equal to or lower than the die result. Meaning you can, in any case that you resolve the attack position effect, summon back a level 1 from your graveyard. Usually used to, have one in grave, have one on field, and then just summon back, link off, summon back, link off, and so on. You know the deal. While in defense position, Telefon is also pretty neat, since it allows you to look at the top cards of your deck, mill a Morphronic card from those, and then put those cards on top or bottom of your deck in any order, which is pretty neat. Leads to some pretty decent setup, especially if you don't have another Morphronic handy when you are going into this off of a Gadget Gamer, for example. Next Morphronic in line are 3 copies of Remoten. The only really specific searching in the deck, because the attack position effect of Remoten is pretty crazy, because it allows you to banish a Morphronic monster from your graveyard to add a Morphronic monster with the same level from your deck to your hand. Since you are running an awful lot of level 1s, you are easily able to cycle through these and maybe grab additional copies of Smartphone to extend your plays, which is pretty darn nice. Next up, we have another level 3 tuner in the Morphronic known as Scopen. While in attack position, this allows you to special summon a level 4 Morphronic from your hand, but it gets popped in the end phase. I sadly do not run any targets for that anymore in this deck. But the defensive position effect is just as neat, because while in defense position, this is treated as a level 4 monster. And level 4 tuners are pretty damn sick. And even, having a level 3 tuner additional targets for that is just kind of handy when you're, trying to go for some cool plays, as it makes Scopen a very flexible tuner choice for those. Then we have 3 copies of Gadget Gamer and the attached Gadget Hauler Garnet. Gadget Gamer on normal summon allows you to add a level 1 machine from your deck to your hand, which is, of course, either Telefon, Smartphone, or Telefon, which is pretty damn crazy. As you are able to, kind of search the one you still need, search the one you, in most cases, will be Telefon on its own, but, if you already have a Telefon in hand, you can also grab a Telefon to, further extend your plays, which is pretty crazy. And the second effect allows you to tribute this off and then special summon a Morphronic from your hand and a Gadget Hauler from your hand or deck, kind of putting, the Phon you just searched onto the board, next to a Gadget Hauler, which easily enables a level 7 Synchro, in most cases Power Tool Dragon. So that is nice, and we are moving on to a one-off, if I'm not completely mistaken. Yes, to a singular copy of Gizmek Naganaki, the Sunrise Signaler. For the people of you that watched my small world guide for the deck, check that out. I will link that up here. Probably also in the description below the link. This is just a crazy card to play if you're running small world in the deck, not only for incidental synergies, but also as a bridge. This is basically a lone Fire Blossom for your Telefon, which is pretty nice, and also allows you to banish it from the graveyard and add a face-down banished machine with equal attack and defense from your face-down banished pile to your hand, which small world banishes banishes the cards you use as a bridge face down. So, you know, if you had to banish a cell phone, a smartphone, or a telephone, you can add that possibly back. But it's a nice light bridge, not only into engine, but also into this. 2 copies of the Iris Swordsoul. This might be a weird inclusion. This is a weird one. I'm not even seeing play in Swordsoul, but in Morphronics it's kind of cool. This allows you to special summon it during the main phase from your hand if there is a monster on the field that has its effects negated. There's a couple of ways how you can, you know, get to that. Either, you know, you get Impermed or Veilered, or with the negation of Power Tool Braver Dragon. Braver only negates the targeted monster and does not destroy it, so getting the Iris Swordsoul onto the board is pretty easy that way. And this has a couple of effects depending on where your opponent special summons a monster from. So if your opponent special summons a monster, you can trigger one of the following effects depending on from where it was special summoned. If it was special summoned from the deck, you are able to draw 2 cards, which is pretty neat. If it was special summoned from the hand, you are able to special a monster from your own hand. And if it was special summoned from the extra deck, you can pop one of those monsters that was special summoned from the extra deck, which is pretty neat. Also pretty sizable body at 25-25, be it in attack or defense. And for those really funny situations where you get kind of impermed on a telephone or smartphone, you're able to put her onto the board and synchro up for a Braver Dragon, because 8 + 1 = 9, which is pretty nice. In terms of spells, we're starting off with 3 powerful one-offs, 1 for 1 to get to our level 1s, a Caught by the Grave against hand traps, and a Monster Reborn as a powerful generic extender. This is also pretty crazy on a follow-up. Reviving Braver Dragon and getting like all equipped spells back on it is pretty damn gnarly. So if you know, top deck into this, or, you know, happen to not need to use it in a combo, it's kind of crazy to have. On the topic of Small World, playing 2 copies, I think this is a good medium. I think you can play 3, but overall I think the deck has enough starters as is, so I don't feel the need for 3. And this kind of gives me, you know, still, you know, a good chance to see it or the Iris Swordsoul, and then, you know, go from there. Small World for everyone uninitiated. This reveals a monster from your hand, then reveals a monster from your deck that has, you know, exactly 1 attribute in common with the first one you revealed, between, you know, type, attribute, level, attack, and defense. Banishes, you know, the 1 from deck and from hand face down, and then you add 1 from deck to hand that has, you know, 1 in common of the following, you know, traits, type, attribute, level, attack, or defense, to your hand from your deck, which is pretty damn crazy. Allows for some pretty nice flexible searching, especially if you're playing, you know, the Gizmek Naganaki for it, because that's like one of the main bridges for anything. 3 machine duplications. This is a no-brainer. Yeah, I'm back on this. I think I already did a profile where I was back on this. Just a crazy card, you know, summoning 2 additional cell phones from the deck is still nuts. And in a corner case, you may be even able to like machine dupe a Gadget Gamer, because you need the additional non-tuners. But in general, you will most likely just be machine duping a cell phone in this deck. Some things just never change. 2 copies of Morphronic Converter. I've found 2 to be like a good sweet spot for this, to cut down to. This targets a machine monster you control and applies one of the following effects depending on that monster's battle position. If it was an attack, you special a Morphronic from deck with a different name from the target, and then stack the initial target on the top of your deck. Pretty crazy if you stack like a Telefon to the top of your deck, and then summon a cell phone out, which you know, gives you the Telefon back. You can link off the cell phone you just used, use the Telefon, summon back the cell phone, and get the cell phone trigger again, which is pretty damn crazy. Goes pretty hard for some combos, and the defense position effect is also pretty neat, as you are able to change that targeted monster to attack position if it was in defense, and then special summon a level 4 low machine from your hand, which, you know, is able to get you some maybe additional Morphronic names out of your hand if you, you know, don't have the space for those, and also maybe, you know, change a battle position to use the other effect of a Morphronic if you already use like the defense position effect, which is kind of handy. And then 2 copies of Junk Box. This is the simpler extender. Targets a Morphronic that is level 4 or low on your graveyard. Special summons it, but it gets popped in the end phase. just a good extender, you know? It is just a good extender. 3 copies of Morphtronic Repair Unit, basically an archetypal premature burial. You discard a Morphtronic and then target a Morphtronic in your graveyard, equip this card to it and special summon the target. Easily searchable off of vanilla Power Tool Dragon, and just a crazy good extender to have, basically, if you're able to make Power Tool Dragon having a guaranteed extender during combo lines to, you know, get additional triggers off, you know, cell phone, smartphone, telephone in, is pretty damn nice. So, you know, maxing out on this to like have that guaranteed search for it. And capping off the main deck are my Braver equipped spells. We are still playing Life Extreme. This gives Braver some, you know, battle protection, I guess. Drops every monster that he battles, or the equipped monster battles, by 1500, making Braver able to contest anything that is 4k or below. Is very crazy. And also, if a monster's battle position is changed while this is equipped to a monster, you are able to pop a card on the field, which, you know, potentially, if you're using Braver's effect to target a monster, change its battle position, gives you the option for a kind of targeted pop on a quick effect instead of the negate, in case you are needing that. Super Magic Sword of Raptiness for some targeting protection, and Metal Silver Armor for the funny targeting lock. I've swapped to Metal Silver Armor because of a small extra deck change, because I don't think I need the additional attack points from United We Stand anymore. But this kind of creates a targeting lock with Raptiness, where Raptiness says you can only target this monster, but Metal you cannot target the equipped monster, and Metal Silver Armor says your opponent can only target the equipped monster. So you kind of have those forming this like kind of targeting lock for your entire board, which is pretty nice. Moving into the extra deck real quick, we are playing a vanilla Power Tool Dragon to search equipped spells, mainly Repair Unit. And of course, also playing the upgraded form in Power Tool Braver Dragon. This on Synchro Summon is able to equip itself with 3 differently named equipped spells from your deck or graveyard. And during the main phase quick effect, this can target a monster, send an equipped spell it is equipped with to the graveyard, target a monster on the field, and then either change its battle position or negate its effects until the end of the turn, which is pretty damn nice. Gives this deck a good interruption and also a very nice boss monster to end on, with some sick ways to protect it. For, you know, just generic extra deck negates, we're playing a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, just the easiest way to Nibiru-proof yourself in this deck, and also a pretty damn good monster negate to make in general. An FA Dawn Dragster, I wish Barone was cheaper, but FA Dawn Dragster still provides a very good kind of spell trap interaction that you can put up, and one of the nastiest pieces of interaction this deck can put up in Naturia Beast. You can easily make this, especially with Telefon out now, and just lock your opponent out of spells, which is pretty damn crazy. Then for some, I guess, more utility-based Synchro monsters, we have a super heavy Samurai Swordmaster Musashi to add back some machines. This guy's just kind of nice to make, to maybe grab a Telefon from the graveyard back for a follow-up turn, because Telefon on its own, if you have like a packed graveyard, is already like infinite link material. And also, you know, in some cases you can make this guy before you get a spell into your graveyard, and then you just have an additional Morphronic to play with during your combos, but that is very rare. In most cases you will use this guy to grab follow-up. 1 copy of Morphronic Earphone, just a very nice stopgap level 4 Synchro to make before you proceed to go into Naturia Beast, and also a very nice equip spell to use for your Braver Dragon, because this, while it is in the graveyard, is able to equip itself to an Earth Synchro monster you control, and gives that monster the ability to attack monsters your opponent controls up to twice per battle phase, which is also pretty damn nice. But generally, you know, you're using this as an equip to like continuously be able to detach from your Braver Dragon for the effect. And then 1 copy of Formula Synchron. The additional draw is nice. You are easily able to make this. And yeah, it's just good. Just kind of good, you know? And then into a very expansive link lineup, I am still playing Underworld Goddes of the Closed World, because it's very easy to make thanks to Telefon in this deck, and having a kind of main deck answer to, you know, unaffected monsters is pretty crazy. Also the art's cool, so we're playing her, playing the newly reprinted Apollousa, just a fantastic end board piece you will be going for a lot in your turn 1 combos, and a copy of Accesscode Talker. Helps you OTK, and also the main reason why I decided to, you know, go for a more protection-focused lineup with my Braver equipped spells, as I do have an access code now to like more easily OTK on a follow-up. For more utility-based links, we have a copy of Nightmare Unicorn for some spinning and also to go into our Accesscode Talker, and a copy of Nightmare Phoenix for some back row removal. I am playing a copy of Platinum Gadget as a link to Extender. This does not come up every time I am comboing off in this deck, but still having the ability to turn 2 machines into, you know, an Extender, and then having the ability to special summon a machine from my hand into a zone he points to is pretty crazy and very handy in a lot of combo lines. And capping off the extra deck is a copy of Linkuriboh. To get some level 1s off the board, get a different name for your Apollousa onto the field, or just have some battle protection. But in general, this will be it. Nothing more to add to this. Let me know your thoughts down below. I think this is currently, you know, working pretty well. And I think the Iris Swordsoul makes for a pretty sick tech card that, you know, has not disappointed me yet, which is, you know, nice. I do take that, and I think small tech inclusions are something that, you know, keeps me actively onto this deck, because it's just an incredibly fun deck that you can do a lot with. And yeah, with that out of the way, I will thank you guys very much for watching and see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.